All right, welcome to another episode of Asset Coach and Tax Strategist. It's been some time since we've talked about California and more specifically Gavin Newsom effect. And what is the Gavin Newsom effect? Essentially, he's the top salesperson for U-Haul, right? It's weird how we feel like history is kind of repeating itself again. And Gavin Newsom is now putting himself out there as America's favorite governor. If you've been looking on Facebook and a lot of the stuff that's been coming out, and I'm sure Instagram and all these different other social media outlets of him basically battling Trump and coming to I guess setting up his campaign for the next election. I'm not sure what his strategy and his plan is here, but the numbers are the numbers, and the results are the results. They yes, California. We've done an episode on this where California is one of the largest economic GDP generators in and among other countries, right? They're number four, I believe, if they are a country. Now, if you were to look at that, that would be broken down based on some of the tech companies. If a couple of the tech companies left California, California would spiral down a toilet. Plain and simple. And that may happen. Here's why. Let me share my screen and we'll go over this article by California Globe. What's interesting, California Globe is basically talking about the Gavin Newsom effect. More people are moving from California, U-Haul reports. So, California lost 361,000 residents and 20.9 billion dollars in income to Texas alone. 20.9 billion in income to Texas alone. This is based on August 25th, 2025. So this may seem like historical numbers and what we heard about after 2020 and what was going on. Well, guess what? Not a surprise. It continues to happen. It starts to feel like Groundhog Day. Every nationwide report has bad news for California, whether it's CEOs or U-Haul rentals for moves to other states. As we reported in July, California lost 361,623 residents and 20.9 billion in income to Texas. California made the top Allied Vans Lines Company 2024 Allied U.S. Migration Report, unfortunately for outbound migration. We are losing residents to other states and not replenishing them with inbound migrants. And you can, yes, thank Trump for that, because what has he done? He has eliminated the immigration, basically, and has made our borders safer, have made our cities safer. He's going into other cities and making them safer. And it's driving these blue state governors and mayors crazy because we, the citizens, thrive and appreciate the leadership. In U-Haul's 2025 mid-year migration trends report, the do-it-yourself moving company says, with the summer moving season, quote, odds are you have seen a U-Haul truck being unloaded at a home near you, or perhaps you were the one moving. Quote, with nearly half of all resident moves in the U.S. occurred between Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends each year, the U-Haul mid-year migration trends report answers the question, where did those new neighbors come from? That's a good question. U-Haul, which is celebrating 80 years of moving America, looked at its one-way customer transactions. One-way customer transactions from January to July of 2025 to determine the leading origins for trucks, trailers, and U-Haul box moving containers bound for the 35 metro areas with populations greater than 2 million. As the Globe has previously reported, the top states Californians are leaving for, as we've become accustomed to, Florida and Texas, North and South Carolina, and Tennessee. Those five states continue to be the beneficiaries of Californians. Here are the top cities where California U-Haul do-it-yourself movers landed. Austin. And here is the top origins. So California is number one. There's actually a lot of people from Florida going to Austin, Colorado, Louisiana, Arizona, Oklahoma, Georgia, Illinois, Tennessee, New Mexico. Top origin metros for U-Haul, for arriving U-Haul customers outside of Texas. Well, Denver, Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, and Atlanta. And it still shocks me that people still are moving to these metropolitan areas of Los Angeles and San Francisco. Crazy. Now, Dallas, let's see here. Okay, hang on. Top origin metro areas for arriving U-Haul customers outside of, yeah. So, okay, so Dallas, top origin states for arriving U-Haul customers excluding. So Dallas is receiving people from Oklahoma. And this is true. Being in North Texas, I'm about 30 miles. I'm actually right halfway between the Oklahoma border and Dallas. And this is true. Florida, Louisiana, Arkansas, California, Colorado, or Georgia, Arizona, Missouri, Tennessee. Most of the people that are coming from Oklahoma are for work. They're leaving Oklahoma to come for work. Same thing with Louisiana. Same thing with Arkansas. Let's see here. Florida, I think it's due to the weather, the hurricanes, why they're leaving. California, politics. Colorado, politics. And I don't know what the reason would be for the other ones. Let's see here. Denver is actually getting folks from Texas. A lot of actually folks from Texas that are leaving Texas are because they're Californians that left for Texas, and they're like, Texas is too flat. I need mountains and hills. And so where's the destination? Denver. And it makes a lot of sense. Denver is California 2.0. If you've ever been to Denver or Colorado lately, it is California 2.0. So I can see why folks that left California to Texas have left and gone to Colorado. Houston is the recipient. Obviously, Louisiana is right there. I mean, they're just jump right across the border, and you're in Houston metroplex. Florida, Georgia, California. So Vegas is getting a handful of people from California, Arizona. Let's see here, Minneapolis. So you kind of get the idea is, California continues to hemorrhage. California, due to their politics, the high cost of living, their high cost of livings due to politics. And it's not getting any better. And though, they want to say it's getting better and they try to distract, but people leaving and the droves that they've left since really 2020. Now, this has happened before. I know when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, there's a huge exodus of my generation leaving for Reno, Vegas, Phoenix, or other areas of Arizona, Oregon, and Utah, and why Colorado, Denver as well. Why? Well, because of the cost of living. We couldn't afford houses. A lot of businesses were leaving because of work comp rates. At the time, I was in business property and casualty insurance and doing business insurance, and a lot of businesses left. A lot of manufacturing left California because they drove them out. And so they went to other states, bordering states, just literally right across the California border into Nevada, Reno. You had tons of manufacturing companies leave California, just go right across the border. Same thing in Oregon, same thing in Arizona, just to get away from the high cost of doing business. And it hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. And so, the crazy thing is they keep throwing votes, and, Gavin Newsom's like, hey, we're going to make this better by taking, all the Republican seats now. Yeah, you've done a really good job so far. Yeah, you should be really proud of yourself. And, hightailing it out is saying, saying, we're going to be a sanctuary for homeless, and then he's driving homeless out, and he's changing his tune, and it's just really sad what has happened to California, and we weren't happy. We were really mad, excuse me, to leave California. Leaving your family and friends tells you a lot about where your situation is, and all these people that leave California is not because they're just visiting California. A lot of these people have had roots in California, and they're leaving in droves, and families are leaving in droves. And so it's extended families. It's just the reality of it. And so it's sad, but at the end of the day, it's the reality, and things won't change if there's no change. And so fixing California wasn't my fight. And so we left. And so there's folks that have stayed. We have friends that have stayed because they did say this. This is, nothing can get fixed or get resolved if we all leave. True. That's true. And so that's a fight they're willing to fight. I wasn't willing to fight it. So I had other things, and I felt God was calling me to do other things, and I was listening to that and doing so, and as well as our friends staying. So that's the reality is we all have to do what's best for us, and 361,000 people in the last year leaving California is just that. So anyways, hey, if you're a subscriber, thanks so much for subscribing. If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. If there's anything that you'd like us to discuss or talk about, feel free to throw a comment down there. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. We drop episodes every Thursday. And if you're not sure what we do or why this channel exists, we have a whole series on what's called Economic Termites, and then it discusses really the premise of what this channel is supposed to do. Focus on taxes, inflation, time, laws, and regulations, and various aspects of how that affects you and I in us trying to build our wealth and trying to build our future and our retirement, or whatever you want to call it. So anyways, thanks so much for your time. Make it a great day.